Hello everyone, it's Marilyn. Welcome back to KK's Quilt Studio. Today we're going to talk more in the series, what can you do with art and stitch base? There is so much and there's so many subjects and so many things I could talk about. But I'm trying to give you little bites, little pieces of creativity, one subject at a time. And today we're going to make some waves. We're going to talk about creating an extended design. What is an extended design? Well, there are a few designers out there who are creating extended designs. The repeats are already done. They are set up for a full-size quilt, if you will. They're a larger design, so when you bring it into your robotics for your long arm machine, basically all you have to do is repeat the rows vertically. You don't have to do anything horizontally. They're wider designs and they're meant to crop or be clipped on the edges to fit your particular width of your quilt. Some instructors are showing how to free motion a design like this, so you could free motion something like this on your domestic machine. But let's face it, that's why we bought a long arm. We wanted to get away from wrangling that full-size quilt or larger under the smaller throat of the domestic machine. And we don't want to do this by freehand because we own robotics. So how can we do this design and repeat it on other tops? How can we create our own extended width designs? So let's pop over into Art and Stitch and see how to get this done. Now here you'll see the design as I had it set up and repeated on the opening slide, and I have repeated my design 2 times, so I don't have to do 4, 8 times, and the number down is 4 times. So you'll see this is for a quilt, or the output size would be about 64 by 57 inches. So how do we create this? Well, in this instance, I just played around with this as an idea for this video and created this repeat using some ribbon candy design and interspersed by, looks like kind of a row of flying geese and ovals. We're not going to do the flying geese and ovals. That's more of an advanced technique. And today we're going to talk actually about doing ribbon candy and a figure 8 design. It's really easy in Art and Stitch, and I'm going to show you how to create that. But we wanted basically to create this wave design, if you will, and I'm going to show you how that's done. Now we will be recreating this design today, so you'll see that I have used my guidelines. So I just click and drag down a guideline from the top or the side ruler. This design I have made 20 inches wide, so I want to bring over from my side ruler a vertical guideline going up to -10 and one at 10 inches, and then I set another guideline, drug it down from the top at 6 inches and 4 inches. So that's about a 10-inch design, and depending on the throat space of your machine and the capabilities of your frame, you may not want to go more than 10 inches wide. If you have a larger throat space machine, you can create something like this. This one was 32 by 16 inches. Okay, so I drew a wavy line, and we're just going to draw 3 lines today. So actually this line and this line, so the top line and the bottom line are actually the same line. So you only need to draw 2 lines, one here, and then copy and paste this one down here. That way, when you select everything and go to your repeat tool, then when we narrow the design, I'm going to bring it in. You can't use the snap tool because your rows need to stay individual rows while we draw this. So I'm going to narrow up the vertical distance by using the down arrow or minus key. So you see that because those 2 lines are the same, they nest right together. And yes, you're going to have to bring it in 2 to 3 inches in order to nest the design together. So that's where we're going today. All right. So I am going to take, I'm going to select this line, and this line, and go over to a new page, and we will paste those. Now, how did you create the lines? Well, pretty easy. 1 or 2 ways. I'll draw them with the pencil. I'll just kind of recreate this. Okay, like that. Or get rid of that one, delete it. You can use your Bezier tool. Make sure while you're drawing these that if you right click on the ruler bar, make sure that your snap to guidelines is checked, okay, because we want to snap to this left guideline. And I actually need, let's see, let's bring down a guideline. So I'm starting here, and like any edge to edge, I need to end over here. So the Bezier tool is click to begin, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. It's probably the easiest tool to use. I use it all the time. And make sure you're dragging that line horizontally, and then we're going to end over here. All right, so enter on your keyboard or right click, or so use your selection tool. So I've just shown you how to draw your lines however you like them, but we, for speed's sake, are not going to recreate. We're going to use the ones that we've already created. So now, right now, I'm going to lock these 3 lines. I don't want to change them in any way. I'm going to change my color and start drawing with red. So I selected red down here. I'm going back to the Bezier tool, and we're going to create ribbon candy. So I want to stay within these two lines as I draw. And you're just gonna laugh how stupid, silly, easy this is. So we're going to click on our first point and drag to the right. All right, and then we're going to go up to the top and click and drag to the right, staying horizontally with your anchor tools, and click and drag to the right, and click and drag to the right, release, click and drag to the right. So you're going to fill up this whole space with ribbon candy. And don't worry if they're not, you can eyeball the space, but you can, if you don't click on the right spot, you can always come back. So this is kind of like chewing bubble gum and walking. I don't know if I can keep talking and creating this, but we'll just keep going back and forth. So this is just kind of a quiet exercise, and just repeat up and down, clicking back and forth. Click, drag to the right, click, drag to the right, click, drag to the right, click, drag to the right. Don't worry if it gets out of boundaries or doesn't quite touch, we can come back and fix anything. So you think you could do something simple like this? It's just kind of like mindless sewing. It's just one of those exercises that you quietly create with Art and Stitch. And if the first time you do it, it doesn't quite work out, if you want to try and sew it out on a scrap of fabric to see what it looks like, you can do that. Or you can always just delete the file. There's no law that says you can't just practice and play with Art and Stitch. But it is a rule that you do need to practice and play with Art and Stitch and change your mind if not. Okay, we're almost there. Maybe you want wider, so just drag it out further. If you want wider ribbon candy, I'm making mine a little bit narrow. You can make them wider. You can make them skinny. It's just how far you drag to the right. Okay? That one should have stopped here because it'll have to connect with this one here. So if I look at my repeats, you'll see, well, it looks pretty good. If I snap them together, it does a little crossover. It's easier to bring them in horizontally like this. I guess that looks okay. It joins pretty well. All right. So we did ribbon candy. Now, what about figure eights? Again, the Bezier tool. And this time, we're going to go, let me back out a little bit, grab my navigator bar. I'm sliding to the left. Okay, I still have my Bezier tool selected, and I'm going to start here on the line, and we're going to click and drag to the left. So we click and drag to the right for the ribbon candy, and for figure eights, we're going to drag to the left. Are you seeing how easy this is? And I can hear you now. You're going, really? I didn't know how easy it was to design and draw something simple like a figure eight or ribbon candy in Art and Stitch. And again, the wider you draw out, the bigger your loops on your ribbon candy. So make them however you want. I like mine a little narrower. And just keep going. Click and drag to the left. Click and drag to the left. Click and drag to the left. Click, hold, and drag to the left. So the further you space them, the further apart they are. Oops, I got an extra line or point there, didn't I? just backspace. I hope you're going to try this, and please post a picture of what you created in the Facebook group. You'll see those two got a little tight. That's okay. We'll come back and fix those. But I want you to open your software and play with it and see what you can create. So we'll go one more here, and then down here on the line. I need to draw down. Well, no, I'm there. I need to be right there to finish. And left. Okay. Go back to your select tool to deactivate the tool. We're going to go to the reshape and select this line. And I'll show you. Just drag things over. Or here we got a little bit narrow. That's okay. Click on that point. And then drag and click. And I can, you see I pulled to the right. I can pull on either tool now. It doesn't matter. But I can set those up. You know, you can't do this with free motion quilting. You can't go back and change your mind without ripping out stitches. This is why I like Art and Stitch, because it's easy to go back here and get it positioned just how we like it. Okay? Okay, now, theory. So I've got the 3 lines and I've got 2 pieces of artwork. I need to change the order so that it stitches this line first. I'll turn off my lock now. So I want this line first, the blue, and then this line in the middle, and then this line. I want this line to sew last, so I'm going to drag it down, and then the middle line I want to sew in between my ribbon candy and my figure 8. So I have 1 left to right, and I'll look here, and it's green to red. This one I drew all these left to right. I could come back the other way, but when I select this one, I've got a green over here and a red there. So if I were to leave this the way it sews, my machine would be jumping back to the beginning. If that's the way your machine sews, if it doesn't sew from right to left, then skip this step. But if you want to sew left to right, right to left, all you need to do is change this row. All right, we got to apply stitches, and you see we're still right to left. I'm going to click on either the green or the red stop point, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to swap entry points. So now my design would stitch from left to right and then ribbon candy back right to left. This line is already left to right, so then I'd also switch this one. So the swapping entry point is not available when you don't have stitches, so you must convert to stitches. So you'll see if I right clicked, there isn't that option. So like we did on this one, you'd need to change the stitching position. But if, like I said, if your machine is of the temperament that it only wants to stitch from left to right, then leave it the way you drew it. Okay? So now I can select everything by just grabbing a selection box around it, or click all items and go to repeat, and you'll see that my design will stitch, and I can't do snap together does not work with this design. So you will need to narrow the horizontal distance. So bring those designs in together. All right, and then narrow the vertical line, the vertical distance. And you probably want to delete that bottom line so that when you're doing this, you only have one single line. Okay, I'll make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. Remember how we did that in previous videos? Okay, so there is your design. And it took me longer to explain the process than it did to actually create the design. But stitch it out on a sample and see how you like it. Add some other repeatable designs that are similar to ribbon candy or figure eights. We're just doing this one so you get the idea of how to create an extended width design by creating some waves. So I invite you to go out there and create waves today. Create your own design in Art and Stitch. And if you like this video, like I've said before, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and click that little notifications bell so that you'll be alerted to any new videos. I watch the numbers of how many people are watching my videos, and if there's interest, I'll do more. So until next time, thanks for watching, and happy quilting, everyone.